Jaya Radha Padava Kunja Vihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yasodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yasodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradhari Yasodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yasodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ramo, Hare Ramo, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ramo, Hare Ramo, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jayam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivakacharya Srimad, His Divine Grace, Srila Asa Bhaktivedanta Goswami Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jayam Viṣṇu Pād Paramahamsa Parivakacharya Sarasri Srimad His Divine Grace Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai Srila Gokishore Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai Srila Thakur Bhakti Vinod Ki Jai Sri Guru Parampara Ki Jai Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Sri Guru and Gauranga. Go Premananda Hari Hari Bol. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Jnana Timirandasya Ganandana Salakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhudale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yukta Padakamalang Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raganatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sadvadutam Prijana Sahitam Kṛṣṇa Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Kṛṣṇa Padang Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitamscha He Kṛṣṇa Karana Sindhu Tina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapcha Kanchana Gaurange Radhe Vrindavanishwari Vrishabhana Sutadevi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhaivacha Paritanam Bhavnebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Kṛṣṇa Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. So, reading from Srimad Bhagavad Gita, as it is, translation, commentary, Srila Prabhupada, chapter 1, verse 30. Observing the army's raid on the battlefield. So, 30. Okay. Please repeat. Nacha śaknomi avasthātuṁ bhramatīva chame manaḥ nimittāni ca paśyāmi viparītāni keśava nacha śaknomi avasthātuṁ bhramatīva chame manaḥ nimittāni ca paśyāmi viparītāni keśava nacha śaknomi avasthātuṁ tīva chame manaḥ nimittāni ca paśyāmi viparītāni keśava. Okay, go ahead.
Nacha śaknomi avasthātuṁ bhramatīva chame manaḥ nimittāni ca paśyāmi viparītāni ca keśava nacha śaknomi avasthātuṁ bhramatīva chame manaḥ
Tīva mane manaḥ
nimittāni ca paśyāmi
nina paśyāmi viparītāni keśava. nacha manitastani, tiva cha me mata, nimittāni paśyāmi,
viparītāni
keśava,
śaknomi
śaknomi avasthātuṁ, bhramatīva cha me manaḥ, nimittāni cha paśyāmi, viparītāni keśava. So, word for word, please repeat. No. bhramativa cha me manaḥ, nimittāni cha paśyāmi, viparītāni keśava. I am now unable to stand here any longer. I am forgetting myself and my mind is reeling. I see only causes of misfortune, O Kṛṣṇa, killer of the Keśī demon. So, yes, we'll get the full picture. Right, Arjuna is between the battles field, between the battles. He says, Snenaya ubaya madhye, let me see who's come to fight. And then, having seen this, Kṛṣṇa says, look, And there Arjuna could see within the midst of the armies of both parties, his fathers, grandfathers, teachers, maternal uncle, brothers, sons, grandsons, friends, and also his fathers-in-law and well-wishers. When the son of Kunti, Arjuna, saw all these different grades of friends and relatives, he became overwhelmed with compassion and spoke thus, "My dear Kṛṣṇa, seeing my friends and relatives present before me in such a fighting spirit, I feel the limbs of my body quivering and my mouth drying up. My whole body is trembling, my hair is standing on end, my bow Gandiva is slipping from my hand, and my skin is burning. I am now unable to stand here any longer. I am forgetting myself, and my mind is reeling. I see only causes of misfortune, O Kṛṣṇa, killer of the Keśī demon." So, this is Kṛṣṇa and his pure devotee. We should always remember this. And this is under Yoga Maya. Those without knowledge, without taking shelter of a pure devotee, they may read this and think, yes, this is what's happening in the material world all the time. People are trembling in fear at what they have to do and what they think will happen. But we should always remember that, yes, Kṛṣṇa is giving the Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna, not just to him, but for all us. And the solution of Arjuna's problem is to, as Kṛṣṇa says later, do your duty, Arjuna, armed with yoga. That means in union with the Supreme Self. Do your duty. Stand and fight. So this is the important point. The material world, for all of us, is full of dukkhalayam asāśvitam, miseries, and it's all temporary. Everything changes. So what are we to do in this great flux of material energy? The impetus of darkness is to go towards light. If we find ourselves in the forest and the sun has gone down and we're in darkness and we see a glimmer of light, we automatically head to that place. We may wander off from a campfire in the night in the forest, but we always return to the light, because in the forest it's a very dangerous place. In the 5th canto, it explains that the living entity is just like a merchant. He goes into the forest of the material world thinking, I'll get some produce, some commodities, and with these I'll make a profit. This is fruitive desire. When the material energy leaves the light, when he turns his back upon Kṛṣṇa consciousness, the Maya Shakti gives him two things. In the material, on the state of mind, he gets nescience. And in the material body level, you can say, he wants to perform karma. He becomes very illusioned about the reality of life. He is seeing through his senses, but he's not understanding. Anumanta, right? Pratyaksha, anumanta. This is empiricism. Pratyaksha means we gain information from the senses, the touch, and sight and hearing. And then anumanta, we interpret it according to our knowledge or our whim or our desire. But without connection to the Supreme, which is how Arjuna will be instructed, without yoga, we remain in illusion, and everything is temporary. So we go from one life to the next, trying to adjust, trying to interpret our experience in a way that will produce either two things. I'll gain pleasure and I'll avoid suffering. These are the only impetuses in the material world underlying the consciousness of the materially conditioned. I don't want to go to the dentist, but I have to avoid suffering. I'll perform this activity to gain pleasure. So there's this interplay within the mind. Thinking means cognizing the material world, seeing what comes into the consciousness through the senses, through this gross body, and then interpreting it according to our position of knowledge and understanding. So, Arjuna here is interpreting this battlefield and his situation according to the bodily platform. He's seeing his grandfather's friends, well-wishers, they're all assembled, whether on this side or my side, and they're all ready, desirous to fight. They want to kill each other. So he is Devagyan. He is a divine personality. There is Deva and Asura. And he is not Asura. Asura is a person, and they progress to Rakshasa. They enjoy this darkness and illusion and painfulness and giving pain. That is their drug, if you like. But the devotee, in mode of goodness, he knows, as Kṛṣṇa says later, without peace there cannot be happiness. For the material world is one conflict after another. War will never finish. Some people take to man-made religions and philosophies and they think, we will work towards peace. But the peace in the material world is like a boxing match. Between the rounds, the fighters go into the corner and they get some water, and the trainer says, you hit him in the left, hit him in the right, and they make a plan to fight further. So this material world, you cannot avoid conflict, because everyone is centered on themselves. Everyone thinks that I am the most important entity in the universe. And that is the center of the nescience. Because being bahirmukh, having rejected Kṛṣṇa, they enter the Maya Shakti, Mahamaya, and the Mahamaya gives them what they want, forgetfulness of their position in relationship to Kṛṣṇa. Yogamaya gives you natural, constitutional perception of reality, and you see everything in relationship to Kṛṣṇa. That is the vision of the yogi. Everything is resting upon Kṛṣṇa. Sutri mani gana iva. Everything is resting upon Kṛṣṇa, just like pearls are strung upon a thread. The material world is resting upon Brahman effulgence, Paramatma. He is Ishvara Sarva Bhutanam, within the heart of everyone. He's guiding everyone according to their desire and their karma phal, and he is impartially ordaining that. He is the impersonal activity, if you like. He gives the fruit to the people according to their action and desire. Karma and calm. Desire and action. On the basis of desire, we perform material activities. And then we must take the fruit. That is the material world. But the asura, thinks, no, I'll make an adjustment. I'll get drunk, or I'll take this, or I'll make a scheme. I'll trick in this way. But no. Kṛṣṇa, that verse we quoted last week, what is that verse? Yastrinda gopa matavendra mahosva karma bandhana rupam phalambhajina mataknoti karmadi nirdahati kincha chabhaktim govindamadi purisham tamaham bhayaṁi. Kṛṣṇa gives impartially the result of work to everyone, whether they're Indra or the germ in the stool. He gives the result impartially. But those who take shelter of him, he karmadi nirdahati kincha chabhaktim, by their bhakti bhav, by their surrender, their perception of Kṛṣṇa, in reality, he burns up to the root their karma phala and their tendency to enjoy. The living entity has the tendency, in forgetfulness of Kṛṣṇa, to adopt the mood of Purusha. But in actual fact, he is Prakriti. Apariyamitastam yam prakritim vidime param jiva bhutam mahabaho yeyatam taryate jagat. That there is another spiritual energy other than me, Kṛṣṇa explains, and they are the Jiva Shakti, and they are in this material world bewildered by the Maya Shakti. The solution is to fix and do sadhana, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Viṣṇu, by which you can perceive the reality of existence. Therefore, armed with yoga, a young boy falls off the bicycle and he goes to mummy and daddy and he says, oh, I've hurt my knee, mummy and daddy. The mummy tries to nurture, oh, come here, my hero, I'll kiss it and the pain will go away. The father gives instruction, I told you not to drive your bicycle in that wild way. You're responsible. That's good instruction. Two things should be there, nurturing and instruction. Instruction is protection and nurturing is protection. That is vatsalya bhav. They naturally want the good of the child. But the ultimate instruction is that you cannot enjoy in this material world, even though you may adopt the mood of I'm Purusha, because your nature is Prakriti. And you are spiritual, you're not material, and you're trying to enjoy dead matter. Nobody wants to, a normal person, to enjoy dead body or dead things. It says there, Pandita Samadashana, the devotee, he sees gold and stone and everything in this world are the same. He knows this asashvatam. It is temporary. The gold, the painting of Mona Lisa, all Beethoven's symphonies, they will all become dust. All the great statues, they will turn to sand, and they will melt away into the causal ocean at the end of each manifestation. There's nothing temporary. So why should I endeavor for the temporary when I'm eternal? And that is the first thing that Kṛṣṇa explains. You're not the body, Arjuna. You're an eternal spirit soul. So now, the next question is, okay, what's the function of this soul? The function of the soul is to act in accordance with the Supreme Lord. What is that sloka? At the beginning of the Bhagavatam. And in that way, one will come out of nescience. That way one will lose the desire for fruitive activity. That way one will overcome matsarya, because this competition for resources in the material world, which we see now in the world, just look at the newspaper, not just this year, but every previous year, everyone is fighting over land, right? Women, money, gold, position, Dhanam Janam Sundarim. It's not going to be finished by the United Nations. It's not going to be finished. It is the nature of the material world. You may go into the forest and think, oh, it's a nice sunny day. But all the animals and plants and microbes and the deer and the lion, what are they actually doing? They're struggling for existence. Jivo jivasya jivanam. And they're living off each other. That's in the Bhagavatam. Those animals, yes, the moving entities, the non-moving entities like plants and trees, they are food for the moving entities. Like the deer and the cows and the herbivores, they eat the non-moving things. But those that have hands, their food is those animals that have no hands. What does that mean? The tiger has hands, claws. He grasps things. So he grasps those living entities that have no hands. They cannot fight. They can only run. And so, jivo jivasya jivanam. So the general rule is that one living entity is food for another. And you go all the way up. And so when people lose their spirituality, they act as animal, vipad pashu. They start to devour each other and kill each other. And it's not going to stop by resolutions. They're making resolutions and ceasefires just as a maneuver. It's like going into the corner before the next round. Everyone is going to continue fighting over resources. And in Kali Yuga, as people are becoming more and more godless, and the religious systems are just turned, the organized religions are just turned into political maneuvering. They're just excuses to be political. I'm right, you're wrong. We're chosen, you're not. This is Kali Yuga, man-made religion. And everyone is full of anger and hate. So even religion becomes a means of expression. False religion, manudharma, kaitava dharma, cheating religion, turned into religion. So this is what the battlefield of Kurukshetra is all about. And the solution given to Arjuna in the primary position is you have to do your duty, Arjuna. Kṛṣṇa explains, this is arranged by me. What do I do in relationship to the material world? Yes, I regulate it as Paramatma, I support it as Brahman, but paritranaya sadhunam vanasha chuduskritam dharma samstapanathaya. I protect my devotees, even to the end of Kali Yuga. I come as Kalki and kill all the Asura, Vinash. But the first job, paritranaya, the sadhu. Who is the sadhu? Sadhu, Prabhupada many places explain, is the sadhu who knows Shastra and acts accordingly. Arjuna is not doing that now. He is like a monkey in a trap. He is trying to think how I can adjust the material circumstances. But he can't. Like the monkey, right? You know the monkey trap? You put an apple in a bottle, and the monkey can put his hand inside and grasp the apple. But he can't get both out. But he lacks the intellect to drop the apple and pull his hand out. So then he becomes captured by the villager. It's called a monkey trap, through his attachment. So Arjuna is suffering here, as Prabhupada points out, through his attachment to the ephemeral, the temporary, the external. And his nescience is that if they die, this will be terrible. But Kṛṣṇa explains later, those that are wise lament neither for the living or the dead. Why? Because the living are eternal and the dead are eternal. The soul is eternal. But through illusion, people think, if people die from this situation, that's something terrible. No, people go on, as they say, to their reward. That is where it's all settled up. Some people go to see Yamaraj through the west gate. It's in the Garuda Puran. Some go through the west gate. So sometimes the devotees, liberated soul, Yamaraj wants to see them, because his job is to see all the sinful living entities and give them the fruit of their karma, give them instruction, try to teach them. So there is Yamaraj and there is Dharmaraj. This is son of Dharmaraj, Yudhisthira. He was truthful, right? Famous for being truthful. He was a devotee. The Pandavas are the devotees. They have faith in Kṛṣṇa. So they're connected with Kṛṣṇa. So pritranaya sadhanam vinashātu duskritam. So as we know, Parvati, when she's in a good mood, she sits on a deer in Parvati Valley. Very flowers. Have you been there? Flowers in spring. It's very nice. The wind's blowing. Material nature is balanced. But then sometimes she becomes so disgusted with the asura that she just starts killing them wholesale. The god, she expands, manifests her personality as the goddess of war. And she just vinashātu duskritam. And she becomes so, her fury, like they say, don't get a woman angry. Every man knows. She just starts to so then Lord Shiva, who is the deity of Tamagun, stop Parvati Devi, stop Parvati. Oh, you may destroy the whole universe. Thinking everyone here is abominable. That's vinashātu duskritam. But then Kṛṣṇa comes and he says, Dharma samstapanathaya. I taught this to Vivaswan. I taught it in the past many, many times. I have to re-establish Dharma. What is Dharma? There's two types of Dharma. There is the Dharma of the material world, Vanashram. Okay, you have this material situation, you have this material quality, you have a tendency to this material activity, so regulate yourself in this way. But then there is Sanatan Dharma, Jaiva Dharma, which is the Dharma of the soul. So Varnashram is basically Vaidhi. Vaidhi is the format within which one can develop Rag. Rag means attraction to the Supreme, to Kṛṣṇa. But one must first understand that what is Kṛṣṇa, what is Arjuna, what is my situation. Many Sahajiya, they go straight to the 10th canto. And just like they interpret Bhagavad Gita, oh, this is a warrior having nervous breakdown before the battle. And then they go to the 10th canto and they see Krishna's Leela and they think, oh, this is a romantic, poetic description of love between man and woman. But Krishna, I prefer Ram because he's faithful to his wife. So this is amanta. This means no spiritual knowledge. We have to take instruction from Guru. Then we can understand spirit. That is the first instruction. Arjuna, you're not this body. There's going to be death, but nobody is dying. Nobody is dying in the sense their existence is finished. And also we know from Acharya, because Krishna is on the battlefield, all those that are losing their body are going to be elevated because of his presence. Because Kṛṣṇa is the supreme pure, Kṛṣṇa is the supreme absolute. As soon as we contact Kṛṣṇa, we become attracted naturally. But we have to learn who is Kṛṣṇa. Then our attraction will become rati. Rati means attachment. A man and a woman, they meet. A boy and a girl. Oh, they're attracted. They get married, then they become attached. So this is the function of the soul. They get to know each other. They appreciate each other. And after that, prem. So these things are there in the soul, but they're being enacted in the temporary material world. I'm attracted to her, I get married, then she dies. So I lament. Arjuna is lamenting. He's thinking about the future. As it is said, what did Bhakti-Vinod say? Forget the past and ne'er the future, dream at all, but act in times that are with you, and progress ye shall call. Forget the past. Everyone is a victim of the past. This is modern psychology. Oh, tell me about your past. Release your emotional tendency. That is not the advice. The advice, if you want to balance your mentality, is don't lament about the past. If you dwell in the past, the tendency will become that you will become depressed. People that dwell in the past, and that's what this modern psychology, oh, tell me what happened when you were a child. What happened then? What did your daddy do? What did your neighbor do? Oh, it's terrible. Tell me again next week. That's $500. So, tendency to dwell on the past should be, I should have done this, I should have married her, not that one, look at this one, oh, she gave me, that one would have been beautiful. And then when we think about the future, what is the tendency? Like Arjuna, anxiety. We dwell on the past, we become sad, lamental, melancholy. We think about the future. We're in the material energy. This is not Vaikuntha. So we dream, as Bhakti-Vinod says. He doesn't say, don't plan for the future. He says, near the future, dream at all. So people, they take intoxication and they dream. That girl's going to phone me up. I'm going to become a rich man. And they just become losers. They spend their time dreaming instead of making a plan. And they become anxious. And the mother and father says, when are you going to do something instead of sleeping in the cellar all your life, watching the computer games? Do something. No, I can't do that. Out there, everybody is rioting. So we become anxious. So we should act in the present, as Bhakti-Vinod. Act in times that are with ye, and progress ye shall call. And in that poem he explains in all his bhajans, what is how we should act in the present. What is the first verse in the Vedanta Sutra? Atato Brahma Jignas. Now, at this moment, inquire into Brahman. That is the summation. Vedanta Sutra is the end of all Upanishad knowledge, put in sutra form, concise, condensed. And the first thing Vedavyasa said, Atato Brahma Jignas. Now. That doesn't mean tomorrow, or you should have done it in the past. Now, do it now. It also, Acharyas also say, it means now that you are a human, you have regulated your material activities, then you'll have some attraction. If you're a Duskritina, if you're a Naradama, if you're a Mudha, you won't. You'll be too in Tamagun, too hedonistic, too foolish. So regulate your activities and now inquire. But the word is now, Brahma Jignas. Inquire into the absolute truth. And what is that absolute truth? What is the first, right? The Bhagavad Gita is explaining Kṛṣṇa, Paramatma, Bhagavan, and it's saying, Manmana bhavamad bhakto. I'll tell you the big secret, Arjuna. Manmana, in a devotional way, become my devotee. Madhyaji, perform all your activities, your sadhana and your practical activities as an offering to Kṛṣṇa. Mam namaskuru. What does that mean? That means be respectful to all living entities. That is sadhu. Why? As we discussed many times in the Uddhava Gita, Kṛṣṇa says, the best way to realize me is in the heart of all living entity. That is Madhyamadikari. That is the beginning of Vaishnavism. If you think, oh, they're this, he's that, then you're just Sava Upadi Vinaya Muktam. You're just stuck on the Upadis. But the Bhagavatam says, give up that. And then in the Uddhava Gita, Kṛṣṇa tells Arjuna, Uddhava, he says, look, you want to transform your material situation, Uddhava, see me in the heart of all living entities and pay your respects. Right? What does Lord Chaitanya say? Amanina, maninena. Don't expect respect. You're in the material world. People are sleeping in the lap of Maya, right? What's that? Jeev jago, gora chandra bole, pisa chera kole. Everyone is in Maya. Everyone is in illusion, thinking I'm the body. They're all sleeping in the lap of Maya. Oh, I'm from Delhi, I'm from Lucknow, he's from there, he's from that, he's that. It's all a dream because of ignorance, nescience within the mind. How? Gora Chandra Bole. Take shelter of the holy name. But shelter of the holy name in knowledge. Siddhanta. You must learn Siddhanta. So, Bhagavatam. What's the first verse? The expansion of Brahma Jignas. Right, the second verse of Vedanta Sutra, what is it? Janmadi Asyata. Right? What is that Brahman? What is that supreme? Brahma means supreme. So it's very interesting, because Vedavyas doesn't say he just that which is supreme. Inquire. Brahman. So what is that which is supreme? So everyone naturally wants to know what is supreme. Is it not? What is that supreme? The materialist thinks it's some kind of chemical formula, physical formula. It's knowledge. I'll build the CERN. I'll split the atom. I'll learn the secrets of the universe. I'll learn everything by my material endeavor. I'll know that which is supreme. And then everyone wants to know who won the Super Bowl. Who was the best cricket team? Who was the supreme? This is all a perverting. It's coming through nescience. I want to know that which is supreme. But Kṛṣṇa, in the next sloka, Vedavyasa says, Janmadi Asyata. The supreme is that from which everything emanates. So, are we the supreme? Does everything emanate from us? Not at all. So, the Bhagavatam starts and it expands what is the supreme in the very first verse. Right? Because Kṛṣṇa is setting Arjuna straight. Everything is there in the Gita in concise form, in sutra form. Manmana bhavamad bhakto. But the Bhagavatam expands that. Who is the supreme? So we have to study the Bhagavatam and the Gita under the guidance of the great acharyas. And we have to perform in Kali Yuga the sadhana of chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. Then Cheturdapana Marjanam, Bhavamani Vagni. Then the fever of material life goes. Then things are auspicious. What's the next? Oh, Vidhavadu Jivanam. I'm getting realization by grace of Krishna. And then Anandam Buddhivardhanam. When we're Ananda, then we get realization of transcendence. Then we can understand 10th canto, the Bhagavatam, the Leela of Chaitanya turn through bhava, bhakti. But at the beginning, we have to understand what is janmadi asyata, what is the meaning of that? How is it done? So, this is the first verse. And see, it just starts. You'll see. I'll say the Sanskrit because it's so... Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Right? Pay my obeisances to Kṛṣṇa. That's the Brahman. Atato Brahman. Oh, he's Kṛṣṇa. Vedavyas is making it clear. And what is his quality? Janmadi Asya. He's the source. Janmadi Asya Yato Nyanvat Itaras Chaseso Abhigya Swarat. Tene Brahma Hridaye Ya Adikavaye Muyanti Yat Suryaha. Tejo Vari Mridam Yata Vinamayo Yatrit Trisargo Mrisha. Damna Svena Sada Niharasta Kuhakam Satyam Param Dhimahe. So, translation, Srila Prabhupada. O my Lord, Sri Krishna, son of Vasudeva, all-pervading personality of Godhead. He's the Supreme. I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. And this is the solution, right? Forget the past. Okay, it was terrible. You can't fix it. Forget it. There's no way to fix the past. Don't dwell on the past. Maybe learn from the past, but don't dream about the future. Act now in times. And what is the act? It is to learn who is the Supreme. You are the all-pervading personality. I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. Mam namaskaru. Like I say, yes, I offer my respects to Kṛṣṇa, but in sadhana, if we want to transform our material situation, we should offer respect to all living entities. They are our part and parcel of Kṛṣṇa, even though they are in illusion. I meditate upon Lord Kṛṣṇa because he is the absolute truth, Param Satya, and the primeval cause of all causes of the creation, sustenance, and destruction of the manifested universe. He is directly and indirectly, so as Bhagavan, he is directly conscious and indirectly conscious of all manifestations. Everything, spiritual, material. What does the Brahma Samhita say? That there is 4 dhams, Lord Brahma say. There's Durga Dham, Shiva Dham, Hari Dham, and Golok. He's conscious of all those departments of the creation. And he is independent because there is no other cause beyond him. So that is a great point to meditate. Everyone has a cause. But nobody can say, I'm uncaused. But Kṛṣṇa, Anadir Adir, he is the uncaused cause of every... He is the origin, he is the person who is the origin of everything. Yet he himself has no origin. So that is the kind of topic, idea, that the great sages go into the forest. They create a hermitage and they meditate on that. Kṛṣṇa, he is uncaused, but he is the cause of all causes. Like Lord Brahma, Janmadi, what is that? Ishvara Paramas Kṛṣṇa Sachidananda Vigraha Anadi Govind Sarva Karana Karanam. Wow. That is the Supreme Lord. He's independent. we're dependent on mother and father, the material nature, water and everything. But Kṛṣṇa is entirely independent. He is, and he is independent because there's no cause beyond him. Matak parataram nanyad kinchid, as he says in the Gita. It is he who first imparted Vedic knowledge unto the heart of Brahmaji, the original living being. So this is very important. We may read the Shastra, and we may read the Gita and the Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, but what will turn that into realization? That is Baladev, Adi Guru, within the heart. He will turn these little black and white shapes on a piece of paper that goes into our mind, and instead of Anumanta, speculating, the devotee will get Swayam Eva Spuryada. Kṛṣṇa will give you realization of the absolute truth. And you'll know it, because that realization, that touch of Kṛṣṇa, realization, is a different flavor from everything in the material world. You will know spirit when it touches you, because it is a different taste, it is a different rasa. And it is given to those who are in bhakti bhav. Anandam buddhi vardhanam. To those that have developed ananda. It is he who first imparted the Vedic knowledge unto the heart of Brahma, the original living being in terms of this universe. By him even the great sages and demigods are placed into illusion. Right, so that's interesting. So Kṛṣṇa does, everyone, like we say, we're either in the Maya or the Yoga Maya. So the Mother Yashoda thinks that Kṛṣṇa needs me. The gopis think we can control Kṛṣṇa by our love. Or so. Everyone is in this Yoga Maya. But this is the Leela of Kṛṣṇa. This is to pull out the Prem Bhav. And so therefore Rupa Goswami has said, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Through Yoga Maya, everyone is in this ocean of rasa. And this pleases Kṛṣṇa. Oh, I've created all these living entities. And look at them, they're happy. Kṛṣṇa's happiness is the happiness of everyone else. By him even, the great sages and demigods are placed into illusion, as one is bewildered by the illusory representation of water seen in fire or land, seen on water, Only because of him do the material universes, temporarily manifested by the reactions of the three modes of nature, appear factual, although they are unreal. Now they are factual, they are real in the sense, but do not qualify as eternal, and reality is eternal because they're temporary. The Mayavadis say, oh, it's just illusion, it's not existing. But I've got a toothache, I've got to go to the dentist. If it's just an illusion, why are you having to go to that's another illusion. No, you're suffering in a temporary world that is real in the material sense, but it's unreal in terms of the eternal world, in terms of the eternal Leela of Vaikuntha and Haridam. So, that is an important point. I therefore meditate upon him, Lord Sri Kṛṣṇa, who is eternally existent in the transcendental abode, which is forever free from the illusory representations of the material world. Illusory means they are there, they're factual. External world can impinge upon us. It does impinge upon us all the time, but it's illusory because it's temporary. It's temporary. It's not got any eternal substance. It's so just like a kaleidoscope. I meditate upon him, for he is the absolute truth. The beautiful translation, he's the absolute truth. That means the independent source. And just at the beginning, you see this? O Lord Kṛṣṇa, I offer my obeisances. I meditate upon Lord Kṛṣṇa because he is the absolute truth. So the absolute truth is that which is not dependent even on time, even on space. Here we're all constricted by time and space. But Kṛṣṇa, time and space, the spiritual world, the Ras Leela, he expanded the one night on material calculation into one day of Brahma. And the Ras Leela, time became servant. If Kṛṣṇa wants, if he's on Keśī Ghat, Keśī is mentioned, he can go to Radhakund in one step. Or he can enjoy herding the cows. So this is the spiritual world. This is not poetic. This is the factual world. This is the reality. That with Kṛṣṇa, everything is subordinate to Leela, his Leela. So people think, oh, everything's subordinate to Kṛṣṇa. But we just saw last week, oh infallible one, please take my chariot between the armies. Kṛṣṇa makes the point that here is the wonderful heart of Kṛṣṇa, that he becomes the servant of his devotee. He's the chariot driver, but he's obeying Arjuna. So Kṛṣṇa says, Ye tam mam prapadyante, all of them as they surrender, as they choose, as they desire, as they perform activities on the basis of their desire, I reciprocate accordingly. So Kṛṣṇa is the supreme controller, but he is the supreme servant. Kṛṣṇa is unlimited in all his qualities. One of those qualities is humility. He's modest, he's not imposing, he's not boastful, even though he tells Arjuna everything. Kṛṣṇa's humility is unlimited. His Shakti, his power, his virya is unlimited, but it's balanced by his unlimited humility. So all these points are discussed by the acharyas in their commentary. They're expanded from the verses. So though Kṛṣṇa is, everything is dependent upon him, as we realize Kṛṣṇa, we realize how wonderful is Kṛṣṇa. We realize the perfection of Kṛṣṇa. And that creates bhava. That transforms rati, attachment, into prema. Just like Vibhishan. He went to Ram. He said, I can't stay on the side of Ravana. He's treating Sita. Ravana couldn't enjoy Sita. That's the material world. You can't enjoy this Maya Shakti. Sita is representing Lakshmi. You can't be... Lakshmi belongs to Narayan. Vibhishan, I can't. I'll go to Ram. Maybe he'll destroy me because I'm the brother of Ravana. No. Ram said, look, Vibhishan, it's my promise that anyone who comes to me and says, I belong to you, then I take him under my shelter, and this is my eternal promise. So whatever situation we find ourselves, we can turn to Kṛṣṇa, we can turn to his expansions, confidence, yes, that he is the supreme shelter, Kṛṣṇa Ashraya. And that Ashraya, he is the father, he is the origin of all living entities. He's the well-wisher, but he's facilitating every situation without imposing. He's waiting, yetam, all of them as they surrender, not my demand, but as they want to surrender, I reciprocate accordingly. Everyone follows my path in all respects. So if we just contemplate that aspect of Kṛṣṇa, unlimited humility, he's independent, but he's unlimitedly concerned also. This is only one aspect. His personality. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Okay, we'll finish at this point. Thank you all very much. Any question? Okay, so remember, when are you going to surrender? Atato or tomorrow? Yes, we have to meditate. I know the mind will jump into the past, but our plan that we make now is, let me read Bhagavatam, Shravanam, let me hear the holy name, and then Smaranam will naturally arise. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam, and then Seva Bhav comes naturally. But we must learn from the Acharyas, from the Shastra, from bona fide Guru, what is that Supreme Lord? Atato Brahmajigna. Who is that absolute truth? And that should be our contemplation. Even though we have duties here and there, we should regulate our material activities that are favorable to remembrance of Kṛṣṇa. Okay, thank you all very much. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. See you next Friday. Here is Dharmatma.
We have another class.
Yeah, we're finished.